Okay, in the final section of Hive, we can have a look at how can we operate Hive and to do some data analysis, as well as to do some ETL jobs.
Just as the common SQL statements, in Hive, there are also three different types: the DDL, DML, and DQL. DDL means data definition language, and typical DDL statements include creating, modifying, deleting, partitioning, and data types modification, and so on. As for DML, it means data management language, which includes importing data into tables and exporting data from tables. Thirdly, DQL, which means data query language. DQL is the most widely used language, and most of the HQL statements are indeed DQL languages. But basically, DQL is used to do some selection or to perform some functions. At last, we can have a brief introduction to all of these three types of operations. For DDL, we can create a table using the following statements. The syntax is rather simple. If we are creating a manager table, then use create table plus the table name plus the fields or column names as well as the data type. Partition information, data directory, and separators are optional when creating a table. But if we are creating an external table, it is necessary to add the keyword external here. Apart from this, the syntax is just the same as the manager table. As for DML, in most cases, we only use the import statements, like load data from the local file systems or load data from HDFS. During the loading process, we can still specify the partition information as well. Finally, the DQL statements. In order to query data from a Hive table, we need to select a certain piece of data from a table called invites. Also, we can specify some conditions or even insert the result into another file called HDFS out. Besides, Hive supports group by function, but please note that group by has to be used together with an aggregation function like sum or count. Otherwise, an error will occur. There are even some other DQL statements such as multi-table insert, join, and streaming. Please have a look if you are interested in these operations. That is all for this chapter. In this chapter, we mainly introduce Hive as a data warehouse based on the Hadoop ecosystem. And the key points in this chapter is the architecture of Hive, the data storage modules of Hive, and the manager tables versus external tables of Hive. Please remember that Hive is good at offline analysis instead of real-time analysis.
Thanks for your listening, and I hope you enjoy all contents in this chapter. Next chapter, we are going to introduce HBase, which is a NoSQL database in Hadoop ecosystem.